Andy, we've just come across the road there. We're not too far away from the last field we filmed. Do you remember when we were talking about weeds and
muck heaps
and
yes,
all those sort
yes.
of issues and organic matter? In my hand I have some of the soil. I mean, bear in mind how it's rained. These soils are like Blackpool Beach in a way.
Yeah. And
the one reason I wanted to bring you here is just to show you the soil type, bearing in mind it was raining yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, even for the audience's benefit, I mean, we are in we're on May the 3rd, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're in the northeast of England.
Yeah, home on Spalding Moor.
We have had a month of serious rain, haven't we?
Serious rain.
So for it to be as dry as that is quite remarkable.
That's only on the surface. Underneath it's going to be wetter.
Yes.
And we were saying as well how the plants had to try and survive in anaerobic conditions.
Yes.
But the one reason I wanted you to see this is for one simple reason, and that is it's exhibiting one thing that's reminiscent to these soils, and that is
manganese deficiency.
Manganese deficiency. And okay, we've seen some yellow crops. We were filming those not long ago, but this lackluster, this lank, very pale growth is very, very symptomatic.
Classic, isn't it?
It is classic.
Absolutely
of
classic.
manganese deficiency.
Yeah.
Now I don't know whether you can pick it up or whether the camera will, but you can see there's a green line running down the field, almost like a field boundary.
I can see it, yes,
Which
Chris.
it is a field boundary, but there were a series of trailers of pig manure put onto that area, and you can see now
the benefit it's
having.
There's more organic matter in that area.
There'll be some nutrition in there as well. I mean, we shouldn't forget the benefit of the muck in terms of nutrition.
Yeah.
I mean, pig muck, you'd think of copper.
Yes, particularly,
you know, iron maybe, things like that, but organic matter levels in particular.
So I mean, barley does suffer from manganese more than wheat.
Oh, it is. It's an exhibitor crop.
So when you've got barley on this sort of soil, it's always going to be a concern. How many applications would you normally be looking at?
I would be normally looking at going on now, because when you start to see the deficiency the way we're seeing it now, we've got the contractor here, ready to put it on.
Yeah.
Normally throughout the season on this sort of ground, I would be looking at 3-4 applications of manganese to keep the crop going. Now the highlight for me, and I'm not just saying it because you're here, we've changed over to the manganese alloy on certain areas, comparing it with what we've done in the past. Judging by what we've seen so far on some of the winter cereals, it may be possible to cut back on the number of applications, and I think
which would be a big bonus.
It'd be a big bonus for me. It'd be a big bonus for the grower, because every time, you know, if we're going to stick to a contractor method of applying, we've got to call him in. The manganese is often in patches where the soil's at its lightest or most efficient. So we don't want to have to bring him in at, you know, £4.50 an acre every time just to spray 2 or 3 acres out. But so the less applications we make, the better, and that obviously it has a cost implication as well. But a good example of manganese deficiency.
And I was just saying, as a final point, Chris, I mean, as you say, quite often it's patchy, isn't it? Yeah. But because of the soil type here, it's quite generalised.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think the way the weather pattern's been, it's exaggerated that as well, Andy. I mean, the crops slow away. We were saying last time we worked with it, the rule of thumb for a spring sown crop, and that doesn't matter which spring sown crop, that can be peas, it can be spring beans, it can be oats, it can be barley, doesn't matter. Potatoes, sugar beet, fodder beet, it wants to be in the ground and have nothing to stop it growing.
Right.
So it doesn't want this sort of
stop start.
No. It just doesn't like it, and I'm afraid that's what's happened this year with the cooler temperatures and the amount of rainfall we've had.